So this is the Lion,
The lioness.
and this is our channel. So what we do on here, we just talk about real topics that most people wonder about, or most people don't want to discuss. The hard conversations, sometimes the easy conversations.
And the
So
debatable conversations.
definitely the debatable conversations. So I'm gonna let the lioness take off first with the topic.
All right, so I was privy to a conversation that I think is very interesting and should be brought to the forefront. So when, as they say, women who cares a lot of masculinity or is dominant, what does it take for them to, and I know ladies, a lot of us don't like this word, but submit, allow them to lead. What does it take for a man to be able to do that with a dominant, strong, and more masculinity woman?
So my take on it is women need to feel safe. They need to feel secure. They need to know that their man is able to handle the responsibilities of being the man of the household, the head of the household. So like according to the Bible, it would say that the man is the head of the household. But what does that look like exactly, right? So it looks something like this, I would say. The head of the household, that means you're a God-fearing man. That means you're able to troubleshoot problems. That means you're able to provide for your family and your children. That means that you are there emotionally for your woman. That means that you can just pretty much handle all responsibilities of, your family structure and be there for your family.
So I will chime and say this. I think the biggest thing that's hard for a woman to kind of step down from that if she has been the head of the household for so long. So yes, it's amazing to have all the things that you say a man needs to have to be able to come in that leadership role, but to have a woman just to not bow down, but to be able to say, you know what, I don't have to take the lead on this. I can follow your lead on something. It needs to be shown, not just exuded sometimes, right? We need to see examples. Say, for instance, something is asked to be done, and it may be not done at the exact time that we would like to be done, or directions. It could be something simple. It could be something big. But I know as a woman, and I would say a dominant woman, we do need to just feel that, and it does exude from you, but we need to have it shown to us. Take the leadership role. Baby, I got it. A little bit of more aggressiveness, I will say. You need to be a little aggressive to say, hey, fall back a little bit. I got this. Let me lead. You've been doing it for a minute.
Right.
Let me take the lead role. Let me handle this. And allow us to see that you can handle it. And then if we see you can, then I will say, ladies, to step in and have a conversation. And it's all about how you talk about it. If it's an issue with the way that he led the situation.
So too, a lot of men, we haven't. So we got taken away from that role, just from decision making. I'm not gonna say that it's a systematic thing, because most people gonna say, oh, the man did this, the man did that. But it's not only the man, it's you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a decision that you made. Like me, for instance, I chose a certain path in life. I was taken away from my family, taken away from the women in my household, and I wasn't able to lead. You know what I'm saying? So when you're not in a position to lead and you get taken out of that position, and you do get back around, and now you feeling like, oh, I'm the man, I can do this and that, but like you really don't know how to lead. So that's another thing I feel like with men, they don't know how to lead, because they've never had a chance to lead, because we've been living certain type of lifestyles, we've been moving and grooving, trying to get money, not really thinking about certain responsibilities, thinking money can fix everything. I could just pay for this, pay for that, but not really being a man of the house. So like for myself, being with the lioness, she's been showing me more things that makes me a responsible man and makes me more of a in the household head, a head of the household type person. You know what I'm saying? So she gives me the chance to, do certain things. So she might tell me something like, the toilet needs to be fixed, or we need to paint this wall, or we need to do certain things. So it's just a conversation that your woman's having with you, and she tells you certain things. So as a man, it's on you to say, okay, this need to be done. Let me handle that.
And I want to piggyback off of that, because I think sometimes, ladies, we feel like a man should just know. A man should just do, and that's what leadership is. but they're not mind readers. They don't know sometimes what we want them to do. So we can say, hey, babe, I would like for you to paint this wall. Or, hey, babe, instead of just calling a plumber, can you see about fixing it? It's okay to call a plumber, but it's okay to try to see if it's something that you can do for yourself. I've learned some men are like to pay for things to be done. Some men like to do them themselves. So it is going to be a vice versa. You may not get both. You may get one or the other. But allow them to get the information on what needs to be done, and don't just sit back and assume, okay, the toilet broke, let me see how long it's going to take. Okay, this wall needs to be painted, let's see how long it's going to take him to paint this wall. And now you got an attitude because it hasn't been done, because he just didn't go ahead and do it, and take the initiative to do it. Because like he said, sometimes that role has not been there. They have not been in the house painted. They have not been in the house being a plumber and Mr. Fix It. So if that's not the norm for them, don't just expect them to just jump into that role without a little bit of guidance, a little bit of reassurance to say, babe, I believe you can do this. And baby, ladies, sometimes us tell them, you got this, you can do this, and me, you know what I'm saying? I know you can fix it, you're strong and stuff, you know? It gives them a little bit of extra ego to see if they can get it done. And watch, when they do it, it does exude a little bit of difference that, hey, it was broke, I fixed it, and had to call nobody else, you know? And we save some money because we were able to do it in house. And sometimes when you run a household, especially in these days and times, it's okay to be more efficient with doing things in-house. I'm a Miss Fix It, so he'll tell you I love to do a lot of things. I like to build, I like to fix versus calling somebody. So that's been a new dynamic within our relationship that we've both been getting used to.
Right.
So,
and I agree with her. So of course you shot a shot at me about wanting to pay for everything, because that's been my whole makeup. You know, I've never done anything else besides get money and spend it on the things that I need, or the, you know, services that I needed or whatever. I've never been a handy guy. But, you know, being with the lioness, you know, she's just shown me that, you know, these things are, they're not complicated things. So back on topic, a question for you, Miss Nakia.
okay.
All right. So a man that has never had a chance to lead the household, that has never been in that position, he's been sort of like myself, just in the streets and doing certain things. How, as a woman, do you nurture this man back into being the head of the household? Or is that possible to like nurture a man back into being that type of man? You know what I'm saying?
It is possible. I think as women, sometimes we want this perfect painted picture that is going to come exactly how we like it, exactly how we want it to be, and nothing is perfect. Some things you will need to, as I stated before, kind of inform, let them know what's going on. So if it's something that I can see is not your strong suit, in the area, you may have amazing strong suit on one aspect of things, but over here I can see it's a little bit of your weakness or lack thereof. Then that's, as your woman, as your partner, as your mate, I feel it's my responsibility to boost you, encourage you, enlighten you, educate. YouTube is big. I don't care what it is. If it's about a book, if it's about a project, if it's about a business, it's always something we can learn. And so as you step into it, as long as you're willing to do it, right, I think it's okay for us to both walk together in. So that way it's not a pull and a push type situation. I'm not trying to pull you to do this and you don't have to push me away. I got it. You're able to listen to me, and you're also able to learn, and vice versa. Because now I'm able to learn what you may not be the best at. And then therefore I can help you be strong. And again, ladies, it can be vice versa. If I'm weak in the area, it's okay for a man to step in and say, you know, hey, I can see where this could be a little bit different, and that's where the leadership role starts to come in, and we don't need to be offended by that, you know? So if you do have a man that has not been in that position and wants to learn, and you love him, and you want to be with him, and you see more good than bad, more pros than cons, weigh that out. Say, is this something I'm willing to work with, to say, hey, let's try to work this out together and see if we can make it work. But if you got somebody that's like, that ain't for me, then you know he's not for you. But you have somebody that's willing to try something different, do something different. Just like you. A lot of ladies don't like to cook. You get with a man, he want to eat. He don't want to go out every week. Are you willing to learn how to cook? You know, so it's going to be a give and take on both angles. So you have to look at it that way. Don't look at, oh, he's a man, he's supposed to know how to do those things, because that's not right. That's not true. It's a lot of things they may not know because they may not have been taught. They may not have experienced. That's not the life they lived. So be open to the situation of compromise and give and take and learning.
Okay, it's a great answer. Another thought that I had. So I'm just going from this angle because it's just my thoughts. I live in Atlanta. We live in Atlanta. So it's a lot of successful black women in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? A lot of successful women, period. And they're independent. They have their own businesses, their own money, their own everything. You know what I'm saying? So when you have these type of dominant women, sometime a man could be like, we could be intimidated by this characteristic. You know what I'm saying? So my question is like, how does a man just say, a man that doesn't have everything going on, but he has ambitions, he has dreams, and he has a plan, and you have this successful woman, you know, and I guess they do decide to give it a chance because she finds him attractive or whatever the case may be. But once they get together, it's just a bunch of like, you know, she's playing the role that the man is supposed to play all the time. So how would you advise men to combat this, or is it even a way to combat it at all? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just asking you from a woman's point of view about these type of women, because you really one of those type of women.
Yeah.
Okay. But So.
All right. So I would say first off, we have to determine whether the man is really a potential, really has that really aspirations to be something great, to be a king, or he's just dreaming. It's a lot of daydreamers. Okay. So make that first difference. And once you see that a man really is someone who wants to put the boots to the ground, really wants to aspire to be what he needs to be, and just never had a great partnership, encouragement, the tools to be able to get that done. I think when a woman sees that he's willing to go just as hard as her, we have to be willing to be open to that. But we got to see it. We have to see that it's there. I can't be getting up early and you're still chilling. I can't be out grounding every day and you still like, oh, I'm looking up now, or I'm still figuring it out stage. It's only so long people or men can stay in that figuring it out stage, or I'm getting it together stage. It has to be an elevation at certain points. So that's why dating is important. Getting to know is important. Going to that relationship stage is important. Don't elevate the situation if you see something that's potential but not promising. And we can get caught up in that, because when you get further down the line, now you mad at him because all the things he said in the beginning he was going to do, he didn't do, but you didn't actually see him doing it. You only heard him saying what he wanted to do. So we as women have to take accountability in that. And men, if you get with a strong woman, independent woman, a business owner, entrepreneur, know that you got you a teammate. I will say I am nobody passenger. I am a partner. I am another pilot. Okay, if you go down, I'm still right along with you. If you sick, if you don't feel good, if you got to go out of town, I'm gonna steer the ship. I'm gonna make sure the boat good. We on course, and I want the same from him. If I got to step off, or I don't know what's going on, or I might be lacking in the area, that he can step up and do that. So when we see that we have that partnership, somebody's willing to rock with us just as hard and can build, great. Because you can find a man that may not be in that place, and you get with you, and you're building on him, you're loving on him, you're creating that place of peace for him, just like he's creating that place of peace for you, because it's not given, it is earned. That man could caliper to the top. Exactly. He can rise above where we were when they met us. Mm-hmm. So I do think it's really about understanding that man, understanding his true potential, and pouring into that. Just like a man needs to pour into us, we definitely need to pour into our mates as well.
So men, one thing that we got to remember is, since we were set in the position to be masculine, to be the heads of the household, or whatever the case may be, you can never forget who you are. So everybody has downfalls, everybody has shortcomings. And I know a lot of men, you might get intimidated by strong women. You see what I'm saying? And you might see her, she might have more together than you, more money. So what you got to understand is money does not depict who you are as a person, as a man. You know what I'm saying? Just because she has more money than you doesn't mean that you're less of a man, you're less of anything. You know what I mean? So you have to find something within yourself, that burning desire within yourself, to push through and still be everything she wants you to be.
And let me just say this, and I have to depict, and I think that's a very great topic what you just said, because women are going to see what's in you, not what's on you.
Right.
And I'm really big on that. You
Right.
can have all the money, you can have the cars, the jewels, the house, the career, all of that, and you do not exude that masculinity that certain women like. That's why a lot of women do tend to go with bad boys and guys on the other side of the fence, because they exude that. They give it to us. They hold up. They walk in the room, don't have to say nothing, and it's just dripping off of them.
Right.
So it's in you. Own that. Own your position as a man. Protect your woman. Protect your household.
Exactly.
Let her feel protected. Let her know that I'm going to lead and guide you, baby. Because if I feel like I can't close my eyes and hold your hand, I'm not going nowhere with you. You can't take me nowhere. Can't lead me nowhere. And that stands for a lot of women. So men, it's what's in you, not what's on you.
Facts.
And nothing you can buy to make a woman submit. Make a woman feel that she will follow you to the ends of the earth. Because when a woman finds that man, trust me, you don't have to tell her to do nothing. You don't have to convince her to do nothing. She is going to do it gracefully. Exactly. She's going to submit gracefully. And submission does not mean you're weak, ladies, or men. It does not mean a woman is weak. It means she knows her power, but she decides to put it down and doesn't have to take that role because she trusts the leadership role that's with her and who she's with.
Exactly. Like I say, I also agree with that. And then also, fellas, like she just made a key point about submission on both ends, because man would say, oh, I don't bow down to no woman. A woman gonna say whatever I say, that's what go. That's it. That's all. I got the money. I got this. She going. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if this your queen and you cherish her, that means you cherish her feelings, her thoughts, her opinions. The things that she got going on. So she might have dreams and aspirations that she want to do that might be different from mine. So as being a team, we figure out a way to make both of these things work together, because the ultimate goal is for the family. You know what I'm saying? It's the structure of the family coming together. See what I'm saying? So like I say, sometimes you might have to play a lower role, for your woman, and let her step up and do certain things. It ain't nothing wrong with that either. You know what I'm saying? Don't make you less of a man. Don't make you weak. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Because she might have a plan that's more beneficial than my plan. You know what I'm saying? I might be thinking of something. Then she might say, well, nah, babe, if we do it this way, this would be more profitable for us and the family. Because that's the ultimate goal. And that's what y'all got to always keep in mind. That it's a purpose. It's a mission that you're on for you and your family. It ain't just about you. You can't be selfish. You got to be selfless when you're with somebody.
And I will say this, a lot of women have watered down the game because they have just submitted just because a man has those things.
Right.
Just because he may look good, his stature, whatever the case may be, they don't care. They will just go the way with the wind, and that makes it difficult for certain women who have standards and who value certain things in life when it comes to how they want things to go. Nobody just wants to be dictated, wants a dictator over them, wants someone to be demanding. And I think it's on both roles, the male and the female.
Right.
So I think it's that good balance. So men, if you do want a woman, desire a woman who you can be able to actually get those inputs from. You have scripts that you're writing, you have a movie that you're doing, you have business adventures or ideas that you want, and you want somebody that's going to actually have an idea and really care, and have some great feedback for you, and not just over there like, okay, and worry about their hair, their makeup, what they eating tonight, because where's that really going to get you at the end of the day? That's watered down substance. So be careful, men, when you do find those women who are just going for it.
Yeah. So, like I said, that's a real important thing, because like men, black men at least, we take on a lot, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff we put on ourselves for one, but the stuff that we don't put on ourselves, it is certain things that might hinder us because of decisions we made, or just, I guess, the way the economy is or whatever, But the thing is, like she was saying, for women, always be that place of peace. Always be the one that lifts him up. Because a lot of men, see, I feel like they don't tell their women certain stuff, or they don't share all of their dreams and aspirations to them because they shut them down.
Ooh, we got to say this for the next show. So I think that's a great topic for the next one.
Okay.
About being a man's piece. That is so important. And I don't think they really understand it. So I think we're going to say that to the next show, because they got to stay tuned for that one.
All right. So this was the Lion.
And the Lioness.
And this is our channel. And like I say, we just talk about real life stuff.
It doesn't have to be our life. It could be your life, their life, good conversations, good debates. It's going to happen. You don't catch everything on the camera, but when we get to it, but
It get heated too.
that's why we had to bring a little bit in front of the camera. Right. But no, really, we appreciate you for watching. Like you said, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Peace.